Hello, you're watching MSTV. Welcome back to our very special talk show, Rubaroo. Today we have with us a very special guest, Mrs. Sumita Das, who is a social entrepreneur and educationist in UK and India for 25 years. She is also the founder and president of Life of Vision Foundation. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So, firstly, I'd like to start with your Life of Vision Foundation. How did that start?
It's a long journey since I've been into education and been working with lots of social organizations. And over the period of time, I was associated with different organizations. Firstly, I was with the UN as a coordinator, and where health issues,
Mm-hmm.
according to my work that I was doing with them, there was lots of areas that needed. And after coming back to India, I realized there's so much we can do in our own country as well. And that's what education became my first priority for less fortunate children. And that's how when I started my NGO in 2016. And since then, it's been a long journey.
What inspired your journey into entrepreneurship and education at the start?
Education is my profession and my
Okay.
profile from the beginning. So, uh, from being a teacher to a headmistress and then a principal and then a UN education coordinator. So it's been a very long journey for, as you mentioned, for the
Mm-hmm.
past 25 years. But yes, coming back to my own country and then there's so many areas that needed. There were children, there were schools which didn't have more facilities for them. And that's how I started working for those schools. And we would have people who would support us, donate and coordinate with us for their upliftment. And it's since then that we've been on this on a regular basis working for them.
25 years is a long time to keep
Absolutely.
yourself motivated into the same field and to work with it a long way. So, what inspired you through all these years?
I think every journey has some inspiration, and my
Mm-hmm.
inspiration has been I'm from a family where education has been a priority. My mother was a teacher for
Okay.
38 years, and I think she was one of the most inspirational women I've seen in my life. And that's where it comes from. Her dedication is something that's in me as well. So I think that's how I'm carrying forward what my mother used to do, and I'm still doing the same.
Okay. Since we have learned that you have worked in UK as an educationist, so have that experience in any way impacted your take on education in India?
Yes, to a large extent, because I was there for my research for leadership roles in education. So we have a different way of working, and they have a different system.
Mm-hmm.
But then at some point, there were a few good things that I learned from there.
Mm-hmm.
Number one was how to start using gratitude from a very younger age in children.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've started introducing in my own country as well, in schools where I go for my life skill workshops. So we try to tell them that what it is to be associated with social causes
Mm-hmm.
right from a very young age. So
Mm-hmm.
that as they start growing, they will learn, giving back to the society should be a part of their life as well.
Have you felt or seen any major differences, which there are,
Hmm.
in UK education system and Indian education system, if any?
Yeah, there are lots of differences in the ways that we have our classroom teaching
Mm-hmm.
and there. So they're a little less formal. There's a very informal way of teaching in the classes, which is now being introduced in some very good schools as well, where teachers become as a friend to the students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there is a change from the times that what I have seen as a younger child and now as a elderly person as well. So yes, we still have a lot of value system that comes in. You know, our mannerisms are different. There they take it a little lighter, casual, very informal teaching.
Um, in India, the core values are a lot when it comes to education system. You need to respect your teacher and talk in a certain way, dress in a certain way, or be in a certain way. In UK or for that matter in US or any other country out of India, it is not the same.
Yes.
So, does India stand uh, different in a bad way or a good way with that?
There's nothing bad or good I feel in any system. The only difference is, for me, it was a very different experience to see children speaking or calling their first names of the teachers.
Yeah.
And in our system, we still have a different level of talking to our teachers. We never say a first name, either we call ma'am or sir or, whatever way.
Yeah.
But there's always some more respect added to the name rather than just calling them by the first name. So it took me a time because even for my research teacher who was there, so the
Hmm.
first thing the professor said, just call me by my first name.
Okay.
So, that's how we kind of changed ourselves there. But when I come back to my own country, I still do the same system. So that's difference how we feel.
So, a little insight that I'd like to have, if you have to prefer one education system to implement in our country or an element of some other country's education system in our country, what would that be?
I think we anyways are developing very fast.
Yes.
And in schools itself, the system of education has changed because I do visit schools as of
Mm-hmm.
now. And there's a lot of ways where we find a similar informal education here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are changing towards a different society in today's time, and we're learning a lot from other countries as well. But we still have the best part is, in spite of having so many religions and everything in schools, it's still so secular, and I
Yeah,
think that's one good quality that I was always proud of. That we have children from so many religions in one single class, and still there is a beautiful relationship that all the children have.
that is true. Coming back to Life of Vision Foundation, what are the core values that you are trying to make people embedded with?
All right. The reason I started my
Mm-hmm.
NGO was with three areas which were very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
One was educating the
Yes,
less fortunate
definitely.
children, women empowerment. See, in our country, there are lots of women who would like to do a lot in their lives, but they don't have the means to do it.
Yeah.
So, encouraging them, supporting them, and obviously, financial assistance becomes a major factor in their upliftment. So that's what we try to generate.
Mm-hmm.
And health. Now,
Health.
I look after almost four schools as of now, and some of the schools, the children have never had any health checkup done. So I make sure that at least twice a year we have associated with some of the major hospitals in Noida,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a camp there. So whatever is needed, we kind of work along with them, and we kind relate to how we can be supportive, and the school can also be supportive in getting those illnesses removed.
Okay. Talking about women empowerment, after education, you mentioned a point, women empowerment.
Yes,
So let's come back to UK. Since we call it a developed country,
absolutely.
UK has I don't think there are a lot of any women empowerment related issue. There might have been,
Yeah,
but not in comparison to
yeah, our
India.
system.
So how do you think that that thing is going to work in India? Because um, it is just not about external pressure
Mm,
with women in India. It is also about internal pressure that they feel that they don't deserve this or they cannot do this
mm.
within themselves, not because of any external pressure, but it comes from within. So, how will you inspire these women?
See, we live in a very different culture,
Yeah,
and women, when you're asking me to compare from the two systems that I've been with,
yes.
their women take a lot of independent decisions. Most of their decisions are their own,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel they're responsible, good or bad, whatever. And they're more open to taking their own actions, looking after their needs. Here we look back to a family support most of the time. There is a culturally different society that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one reason where we are still having systems where a woman feels answerable to maybe a husband or a father or a mother or an elder person in the family. So every decision comes into mind keeping a lot of our family systems behind us first. Even if we are a working woman, the children looking after them. It's always a woman or a mother who has to take care. So
Yes.
I think we still have to, see. I am seeing a lot of changes right
Mm.
now,
No,
where
we
there are
really are.
husbands who are equally
Yes.
responsible for bringing up the children. But if you look back like 10 years, 20
Mm-hmm.
years behind, it wasn't the same. So I think we are learning a lot from them because some way we find that women today in India itself are very open to, being vocal about what the needs are or looking up to issues where feel that they can voice themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one major difference I see in today's time.
Yes. I also have one more point in my mind right now that is going through. In other countries, as UK, they give independence to their children by the age of 16 or 17, or they
Hmm.
have to, go out and live on their own. And I feel that in a lot of ways that makes them understand the importance of independence and earning their own money,
Yeah.
which is not very appreciated in India. They want to look after their children, what are doing or what
Yes.
not they're doing, or how their life is going to be in the long run. So is that the UK mindset of giving independence to your children, is that something that you support or would like people in India to understand? A lot of people in India are
Mm.
also adapting that.
We live in different societies as of now.
Yeah.
There, it's more secular in terms of everyone on a similar platform. Children have the understanding that they can go out and work. We still live in a little insecure society. For a girl to live alone or take a
Mm-hmm.
room or hire a room, it will become very questionable for her. Even sometimes the families would not like their daughters to be outside. And you know what cases we see nowadays, and there's still a very insecure culture that we are still living in, especially in terms of a female or even for the matter young boys. And because there's so much of experience that is still adding on to who they are right now. So we feel that yes, it is required, but to some extent, this comes a little later in life, which is like in 20s when children would like to be independent here.
But this is also a matter of women empowerment, because if we will not give independence, then how will the women of our country will be empowered or feel supported?
See, there, girls, or for that matter, younger generation, they start earning very early in life.
Yeah, that
And
is
that
true.
is the best part because they learn to value money.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, even if it's a college student, you are being funded by your parents,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's once you complete your education, then you start looking after a job or and the value of money comes in. As long as you're depending on your family
Yes.
or your family's needs, you're being looked after. So I think that's the change. There they work towards their own fees when they go into college. I've seen so many students that even when they've left the college and they're working, they're repaying the loans that they've taken for their college education.
Okay.
So there the value of money becomes very different than for us.
What drove you through the commitment of menstrual hygiene and health concerns in India? Because we as a country are not very woke about this concept.
Absolutely.
Now we are getting to know about it,
Mhm.
especially men, but we are not very woke about this. So, how are you implementing all this in our society?
A couple of years back, when I was associated with a school in Shahabad, this is a town a little towards Meerut, and we realized there were schools where children, or especially the girls, during the adolescent times, they wouldn't come to school.
Hmm.
The reason being they were not feeling comfortable being in school. They could not have, very basic requirement of sanitary pads available to them. So the best thing they could do was stay at home and take like a leave for 4 or 5 days and then join back once they're feeling better. Or if they were coming to school, sometimes they were using, used clothes and stuff which was unhygienic for them. And that's how we started. And I think the first time we had a talk with these girls,
Mm-hmm.
which was ranging from class 8th to 12,
Mm-hmm.
and there were I think 300 plus girls, and most of them had issues of uh, very unhygienic conditions they were in.
Okay.
And they would either have some kind of rashes or some problems with them, and then they were still not open to talk with the mother or anyone at home, because this is a topic which is doesn't need to be talked in the
Yeah,
you know
society. Our
underprivileged
society.
society. So that's how we started coming up with ideas of, I had put up sanitary vending machines which
Mm-hmm.
would have just pads kept up there.
Mm-hmm.
So a girl, if need is there in the school, she could just go take out a pad and use it. And so that was a very secure way of using them and being in the school as well. So they didn't have to miss schools. And that I did for almost 3 years now. So it's been very successful for that.
We were talking about menstrual hygiene.
Hmm.
I guess health is a topic where every other aspect of life comes in the loop, be
Absolutely.
it education, be it women empowerment, or anything. And menstrual hygiene is something of that topic that loops everything of around our proximity into that. With this, how much of impact have you created with your health concern movements?
See, I have 9 underprivileged schools where we have put in free sanitary vending machines.
Hmm.
And that's been a very successful venture,
Hmm.
because the times when girls would not come to school has reduced to a lot at the moment, because they say now we don't need to stay at home. And in
Yeah.
fact, since we've been supplying them regularly with those sanitary pads, they even take for their mothers or sisters, or so that as long as it helps the other women in the family as well. So I think that's become more aware about
Mm-hmm.
what your hygiene issues are and how you can take care, and what kind of we even have yoga sessions for them in the school, which can tell them how to ease out some pains which they
Mm-hmm.
have during that time period. So I think, and girls have become very proactive about it, and they keep talking about their personal issues, and they would like to be vocal about how they feel about it. So that's a achievement.
Uh, let's stick to health only and talk about your work with cancer awareness
Hmm.
and survivors that you have been in loop with. How has that been?
Um, I know I'm going to always refer back to my UK time that I've
Yes.
had, because it was from there which was I was kind of
Hmm.
drawn towards it, because there they would have a regular checkup done, even if you're not aware about it.
Mm-hmm.
You would get mails about it, to
Mm.
go and attend or visit one of the health centers and stuff like that. And coming back to my own country, I realized I was associated with Ames Hospital for a
Okay.
while in the beginning when we started with this, and there were so many women, or maximum of them,
Mm.
who never ever had any mammography done. And
Okay.
this is, I'm talking about very educated people. Even in our homes today, I don't think any woman who's above 40 has, if they don't feel of any use of being for a
Mm.
mammography. Why? Because they say, no, humko kuch nahi ho raha hai. So
Mm.
why should we go? It's
There
only
is,
when they have it in the later
yeah,
stages then things. So we are working towards that. I have a couple of women who are cancer survivors, and we support them. And for that, we do a lot of fundraising programs, which is like fashion shows. And in fact, we've had a couple of programs at Marwah Studio as well
yes.
in my previous years associated with Sir.
Mm. What do you think in our country, where our country is lacking in healthcare privileges? In underprivileged areas, there are healthcare centers, we call it mohalla clinic, and in villages we have, village sarkari hospitals, as we
Mm.
say, government hospitals, but they're not very, well maintained.
Mm.
Apart from that, where are we lacking in healthcare privileges?
I think the awareness that they should have in terms of what it is uh, to be conscious about their health,
Yes.
that is still lacking. And somewhere down the line, it's always not taken care unless you are suffering from some issues. And
Yes.
that is becomes a main. And then obviously the treatment in our country is very expensive, and from our own perspective, and that you require loads and loads of money for that. So a lot of time people would withdraw from going to the hospitals, because they know it's going to cost them so much of money, and then they
Mm.
keep looking for places which can give them a little lesser, and
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes doesn't turn out to be very fruitful for them.
Yeah, because with privileged areas, there is a constant with monetary funds. They
Absolutely.
they feel that if they don't have enough money, they cannot get checked up very well.
Mm,
But that is the thing that our country needs to work with. Even in government hospitals, they need to provide all such facilities that a private hospital, for which they are going to charge a lot of
absolutely.
money, should be there, right? Yeah,
There's so much of work to be done in this area. If
yeah,
you ever get a chance, you should visit AIMS Hospital
yeah.
in Delhi,
I
the
have.
cancer area, which is there.
Mm-hmm.
There are thousands and thousands of people lined up, right from the corridors to the wards to outside area.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so, so sad to see that, they've been sitting there for hours and hours to get themselves checked or waiting for their turn to be there. And which you can understand that we lack resources as of
Yes.
now.
Um, please walk us through one of your projects since we have talked about your vision with Life of
Yes.
Vision Foundation. Um, walk us through one of your projects called Sahara, Project Sahara. What was that about?
Project Sahara, as I've already mentioned you about the education part of
Yes.
it. So we're looking into areas which the schools which requires a toilet facility or
Mm-hmm.
a clean drinking water
Okay.
or a construction of a room or a computer room. So we kind of look into the resources where we can get all these done, and we support them. That's the reason we've called it Project Sahara, because a little effort from our side and lots of work
Mm-hmm.
comes up that we need to do this, we need to do that. So we're trying to make the less privileged schools much better in their sanitations, in their working environment. There are schools which still do not have a computer
Mm-hmm.
system.
There
So
are.
we've got a couple of computers installed in one of the schools, and the children and they would actually go to another school just to take computer classes. So now it's a privilege for them, and they had to travel like 5 kilometers to go and attend a school.
Okay.
And now they're happy to have their own.
Sorry, how has the feedback been? I was very excited to ask because this is something that we
Mm,
people of my age have
mm,
also faced when we were, very
yes.
younger. We did not understood the concept of computer. How does this work? We were
Mm,
very intrigued about it.
absolutely.
But later on, like now the conditions have improved and
Mm.
now schools have computers. So I just wanted to know the impact of it, the feedback that you might have gotten, because
Oh
children
God,
get very
they would,
excited.
you know, if there are like 15 computers or 10 computers, they'll all line up. Hamari
Yes.
turn, Ani, Hamari turn. We've just had half an hour, and then there would be a constant, children wanting to be there in that room most of the time. And it's so easy for them. Otherwise, they would have no access to see their systems in their own schools now, and they were very happy. And I think it's been a big journey for them, because today they feel they're more privileged to be in their own school, and they get lots of study materials
Yes.
which they can access there, and especially the ones which are going in for their 10th and 12th classes, for them it's an asset.
Um, with this, I feel that education system has really improved, and Project Sahara has really helped a lot of children. And when we were talking about education, this entire project was really helpful, as you
Mm,
have
mm,
told us the feedback of it. After this, we are going forward with your project called Project Leela. What
mm.
is that about?
Oh, this is a very important project for me, because this is closest to my heart at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, this is after my mom's name. My mother's name was Leela,
Okay.
and she was a very supportive woman in terms of helping young women to be educated. And we came from a town, Agra, which I think you all know. It's a beautiful town, very well known. But then we still have a lot of system visuals. So I remember my mother used to have lots of women coming over in the afternoon for classes and all. She would teach them, or she would send them for education purposes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, we would get to know, some of them were getting jobs and some of them were working, or they were learning some skills from somewhere. And my mom used to help them in getting those skills. And 2 years back, we started with this project under my NGO, Life of Vision Foundation. And since I was the president of Inner Wheel Club Noida, so it's all women oriented organization. So we've got almost 200 plus women in that from Noida and outside Noida as well. And that's how I kind of talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we start a small center? And
How?
that's how it worked. And I said, okay, let's contribute. I said, I want stitching, because everything has to have some financial support.
Yes,
Without that,
yes,
nothing works. I can have hundred of ideas,
yes.
but if I don't have financial assistance
Mm-hmm.
or the skilled people to help me,
Yes.
so that's how it worked. And we started with that, and I have a small stitching unit now. And in
Stitching.
fact, just yesterday I was at an exhibition on World Environment Day. So we had women who made those things.
Ah,
And we have about six of these women who
uh-huh.
are young widows and who've just been, unfortunately, difficult situations. So all these women work. So we support their children's education. There are, out of 7 children, there are 2 autistic.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how we are supporting them. So it's satisfying to see, helping, even if it's in a small way, but at least you're doing something which
Yes,
adds on to
definitely.
their in better livelihood.
So we can say that with Project Leela, you're also working for women education, women empowerment, and in some ways health. Because whenever there is education and
Absolutely.
empowerment, there will be health concerns, right? Um, what all is included in Project Leela in detail, if we can get to know about
Yeah.
it.
So what we are doing now is we are getting involved with a lot of other organizations. In fact, 2 organizations have already got in touch with me. So we are making bags for their products. So there are some of them who run their boutiques.
Okay.
So we're making, bags for them so that they can use them for sending their products or stuff like that. And we would definitely want, lots of younger generation to be interns with us. So
Yes,
come and support us and be a
definitely.
part of it. You can do whatever is you are capable in your capacity as a young student, because, that's how you learn,
Mm-hmm.
how you
Definitely.
can give back to the
Hmm.
society. I have a couple of students who come from different colleges, and even if you're coming and giving ideas or sitting or doing a little bit of your artwork with me, because we get them painted also, and
Mm-hmm.
so you're just adding to something that you feel you're giving back to the society. And yes, we would want lots of people to connect with us and support us for this project. And if God willing, we would like to increase the number of women we can support
Yes.
and make our project more bigger.
Than that, um, how can now that you have just asked me to be a part of it, which I feel very proud of, what would be the way for us new generation women, girls
Hmm.
of 20 years, 23 years, 25, to be a part of such movement? Because we also feel that empathy for those women who cannot live their life the way they want. So
Absolutely.
is there any small or any step that we can take from our end to be a part of your movement? Because it is something I feel that every woman in our country would like to be a part of.
We all have some skills in us,
Yes,
and
definitely.
everyone can add those skills to whatever work somebody else is doing, because it will, like you from the media section,
Yes.
and your being vocal will be what you can add to it. You can make good posters, you can make small updates, you can,
Hmm.
give us the insight how to have a small channel to
Yes.
introduce what we are doing. So you can all be so supportive in this.
Yes.
You come and take good pictures of what we are doing. You can have your own ways of promoting it on your own, and somewhere down the line you can even be a part of it,
Hmm.
that you can help us in promoting what we are doing. And the more audience it gets,
The
the
merrier.
better it becomes.
Yes.
And I'm so proud, because yesterday I just had 3 people from different organizations who wanted to give me work,
Hmm.
and so that we can have
Continue.
resources for them,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day we're paying them a salary, and that
Yeah.
salary is what is important for them,
Yeah.
that runs the house, that runs the education of the children. Whatever their needs are, we provide them. So that's will be what will make us feel proud about the younger generation also becoming a part of such things. And because somewhere you will get to understand, so what you're giving back to your own culture, to your own society, and it just is satisfying.
Yes. So as we are coming towards the conclusion of our talk show, I'd like you to just say a few words to our underprivileged society women to come and join you in this movement and achieve all they want in their life with education, with health, and with getting empowered.
Thank you so much because for me also it's been a very wonderful experience being here, and for me Marwah Studio and Sandeep sir, it's just so encouraging to see him doing so beautifully well, and he's been a wonderful source of inspiration. I'm talking from me as a person, as an individual, and as an organization as well.
Mhm.
And I think what since I'm doing a lot of mentoring as well, so we encourage younger generations to be associated with us. I have sessions for them for the life skills.
Mhm.
What you can do is because you are the future of the country today, and that's how what you're going to become is what the society will turn out to be. So you can look into organizations where you can be a support in your own ways. You can come and teach them something. You feel you have a better skill in, communication skills. You can come and tell them how to do it. If there's some language they want to learn and you are able to do that for them, teach them. There's some who don't even know how to read and write. They just know how to stitch.
Yes.
So for them, the opening up a bank account becomes a big issue for them. So you
Mhm.
can accompany somebody, take them, fill up the forms, do something like that. These are small, small gestures that can help you out. Or the children who needs, a little time for a little extra time for
Mm.
the studies. So
Yes.
they can't pay a tuition fee, but you can be there and you
Yes.
can help them, the children, to study. So these are small ways you can work towards it or generate some funds through your own ways,
Mm.
just a small little amount.
Yes.
For
Definitely.
okay, I look, 10 of us will
Contribute
contribute to one
such
child's
amount.
fee,
Yeah.
and that's what is going to make the difference because that child will always understand that there were people who supported,
Support.
and you will always understand that I added value to a child's
Mhm.
education, and that's what is going to be our future way of helping each other, standing for each other,
Yes.
and being a part. And please join my organization. I will share my address with you guys
Yes.
and my phone number. Try to be a part of it, connect with us, and we'll work out something. Or we coming up with a fundraiser in August.
Yes.
Be a part of it. Sir has always been very supportive in all my causes and all my functions, and would definitely, I'll be so grateful.
Thank you so much for your insightful conversation. And I feel that with this, a lot of people, a lot of women actually, will feel the necessity to be a part of this, because this is a movement for women, a movement for improvisation, a movement uh, with which we can live a better life in our own country. So yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. And I would like all the people who are watching right now, to be a part of this and make a change in our country in the values. With this, to watch more such videos, please keep watching MSTV.